we'll talk about game one of the NBA Finals. And guys, listen, I could probably do 30 minutes right out the gate on that game. It was bonkers. But the one obvious thing we have to start with is death, taxes, and Tyrese Haliburton. Nobody has had a clutch postseason like Haliburton has. Folks, he did this against the Bucks in the opening round, the driving layup. He did this against the Cavs to basically squash them in game two. And, of course, against my New York Knicks, Tyrese Haliburton is the man. The pull-up jumper with 0.3 of a second left gives the Pacers the win. They were 10-point underdogs on the road, and Haliburton delivers. Now, there's so many layers to this. I will try to contain myself. But first, let's get this out of the way early. Here's the audio from the Indiana Pacers radio call of Tyrese Haliburton vanquishing the Thunder.
8 seconds to go. The Pacers are not going to call a timeout. Haliburton has it with 3, driving with 2, pulling up, and hitting with 0.3 of a second to go. How many more times can this team do that?
You got to love it. You see all those OKC fans hit the surrender cobra, hands on their head. What did I just witness? But here's the best part about Haliburton beating OKC last night. So Tyrese was in the torture chamber all night. Lou Dort locked him up. I'm not going to lie. Lou Dort did a tremendous job on Haliburton, and Haliburton had a quiet game. And you're like, oh, where's Haliburton? And my guy, Richard Jefferson, you know, play with me in a men's league. He's a great human being. He's talking about in the fourth quarter, hey, Tyrese Haliburton, you can't shoot tour dates, okay, in game one of the NBA Finals. And Haliburton had a quiet game, but he wasn't forcing anything. And that's important because as soon as they got a chance to win, just keep it close, OKC was going to fold. And there is an element to OKC, and we'll get to them later. Trust me, plenty to do on OKC, but we're going to focus on the positive here at the outset. But there is a Mike Tyson element to the Thunder, right? They want to knock you out. That's what they do. They had the most double-digit wins, I believe, in NBA history. Our guest Anthony Slater had that yesterday, something like 61 wins by double figures. That's more than the KD Curry Warriors. They want to knock you out, but they couldn't knock the Pacers out. They were up 15 in the fourth quarter. This game was eerily reminiscent of that choke by the Thunder in game one against Denver. A lot of self-inflicted wounds, and we'll talk about the coach a little bit later. Dagnall coached a terrible game. Only way to grade him on that was an F. From the starting lineup to the closing lineup, he was awful. But I do want to focus on the positive in the Pacers here. Folks, when you look at the box score, you don't understand. It kind of breaks your brain a little bit, okay? Indiana averaged 12 turnovers a game. They had 24 last night. They had 18 in the first half. I mean, they were on pace for 36 turnovers. However, Rick Carlisle, who I hyped up when I picked the Pacers 4-2 yesterday, I hyped up Rick Carlisle. I said, listen, this guy's good. Look what he did to LeBron and the Heatles. Fourth quarter, Pacers had 1 turnover. Early on, they could not handle the pressure. They made adjustments. Carlisle's a master. So not only did they turn the ball over 24 times, but did you see the steals in this game? 14 steals for OKC, 1 for the Pacers. How do you win a game like that? Well, it's the three-point shooting. And again, this was one of the keys to victory for the Pacers. Number 1 three-point shooting team in the playoffs, 40%. Last night, 7 more threes than the Thunder. 7 times 3, 21. In a 1-point game, you win threes by that much. Folks, I mean, you're looking on the screen here, that Andrew Nembhard banger. Now, some of it was luck, obviously. But look at Nembhard. Between the legs, bang, right in Wallace's face. And then he did it to his fellow countryman, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. By the way, they got into it. We'll also talk about that. But, like, was there some flukiness? Yeah, Miles Turner ain't going to bank in threes, right? Obi Toppin turned into Steph Curry there in the fourth quarter. But ultimately, it came down to Tyrese Haliburton. Here's Tyrese after the victory.
We got to stop, and coach trusts us in those moments to not call timeouts. Trust me in those moments. Guys trust me, and just trying to make a play. So, man, basketball's fun, man. Winning is fun. That's a great win for us.
Basketball is fun. I was watching with my kids last night, and when SGA bricks an 8-footer, yeah, the mid-range is back, right? And the Pacers get a shot. I'm watching with my kids. We're all standing up. I'm like, do I get video of myself? Do I do one of those nerdy reaction videos? No. Let me just watch it. And Haliburton got the ball, and you're like, oh, it's a problem. And it's interesting because against the Bucks, he drove for the layup. Against the Cavs, step back against Ty Jerome. Against the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson, step back three. He didn't. The Thunder had scouted him. They knew what was coming. They knew time and situation. Just a pull-up jumper, 21-footer, bang, from Haliburton. And as soon as it went up, I was like, oh, that's cash. It's over. And he hits it. And my kids don't really know Tyrese Haliburton. You know, he's not a well-known superstar, but the legend is growing pretty quickly. And I don't know if you guys have seen this on the internet, but there's this funny mashup. Because Tyrese Haliburton he's kind of different, right? He's just like a little goofy at times. He's got a funky-looking shot. He's always smiling and happy. And there's a mashup of Tyrese Haliburton and Steve Urkel on the internet. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but Steve Urkel, of course, Family Matters, Jaleel White, iconic TGIF show. I don't even know if Alex was born at the time. I watched TGIF, nerdy Jason, sixth grader, watching Steve Urkel. And there should be a new nickname for Tyrese Haliburton. Why not Haliburkle? Because once you see the video of Steve Urkel, remember there was one game where Steve Urkel's going off, Tyrese Haliburton kind of doing the same thing. Haliburkle, is that going to stick? Much more on this game later. I promise you we'll come back to it because I haven't taken my jabs at OKC, and they're coming, folks. Back here on the herd, I will say having a game last night, extra bounce in my step this morning. Couldn't sleep last night. I was so geeked over Tyrese Haliburton heroics. We'll have some interesting stories in Herdline coming up in about 8 minutes. Okay, so I glazed, as the young kids say, Haliburton and the Pacers. So now let me take some shots at OKC. So growing up, one of my favorite coaches in all of sports was this guy named Pat Riley. Had the slick back look on the sideline with the Lakers, Armani suits. He was the man. He had a cool mantra. No rebounds, no rings. It's pretty simple, right? Rebound the basketball. Don't give second chances. OKC did something so stupid last night. I don't know what they did here. So I even mentioned yesterday, I don't see Hartenstein playing a lot in the series. I don't anticipate a lot of double bigs. Pacers can play 5 out. Everybody can hit threes. So Dagnall pulls his starting center, Isaiah Hartenstein, and starts Cason Wallace. So on the surface, okay, I guess that makes sense. Here's the interesting part. They'd never started that 5-man unit before as a starting group in the playoffs. I think it was 16 games to get to the finals. Never used that starting group once. Like, okay. But they still led by 15 in the fourth, right? And then down the stretch, for reasons I haven't seen a logical explanation, Dagnall pulled Chet Holmgren for Cason Wallace. So now you have no Hartenstein and no Chet. So what happens in the final 3 minutes? The Pacers go on a 13-4 run, score inside at will, grab 2 offensive boards, put them back. It's like, what was he thinking? And, listen, you never want to overreact after one game. I think I referenced the Allen Iverson Lakers game where Iverson hit that shot in overtime, steps over Tyronn Lue, and the Sixers win. It was a shocker. I remember with my family, we were on a family vacation, and because school had just let out, and I was watching it at like wherever we were. I was like, oh my gosh, are the Lakers in trouble? And the Lakers steamrolled them the rest of the way. However, here's SGA after the loss.
How you lose doesn't really matter. Obviously, it sucks, the last second shot, but the energy in the arena and stuff like that. But we lost at the end of the day. The series isn't 1-1, it's 1-4. So we have 4 more games to get. They have 3, and that's just where we are. We got to understand that, and we got to get to 4 before they get to 3 if we want to win the NBA championship, and it's that simple. It's not rocket science. We lost game 1. We have to be better.
So the Pacers out-rebounded the Thunder 56-39. Plus 17, the Pacers were on the glass. Outshot him from 3. Now let me take a quick moment to talk about everybody's favorite basketball player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Okay? Yesterday I compared him to James Harden. I had former NBA players coming at me on social media for this take. I'm like, oh, well, guys, settle down. Hey, relax. Last night during the game, SGA cooking from the mid-range. My buddies are texting me, boy, SGA better than James Harden, J-Mac. All right. What happened down the stretch, ladies and gentlemen? SGA bricks an 8-footer. Tyrese Haliburton comes down. Clutch city. Okay? I'm not a Tyrese Haliburton hater. I'm not. I'm just a realist. On what planet is 40 minutes and 3 assists for your point guard, like a good game. Is he making anybody better? 38 points on 30 shots? That's not efficient, guys. He had a good scoring game for 3 quarters. And in the fourth quarter, he folded. He was not great. And this is what's interesting. He was getting frustrated. Our staff came up with some numbers here. SGA, a.k.a. the free throw merchant, gets to the line like nobody's business. He could not get to the line last night. He only got to the free throw line 8 times, and 8 is the line of demarcation. The Thunder are 4-3 in the playoffs when SGA attempts 8 or fewer free throws. 8 or more, they're unstoppable. They're 8-2. One of the keys to this offense is SGA getting in your head, getting your guys in foul trouble. And there was a small moment in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you saw this. The announcers didn't make a big deal out of it. SGA's going against his guy, Andrew Nembhard. And you see this play by Nembhard, and he was upset. Look what SGA does. Reacts with a shove. Referee didn't step in or anything. SGA goes to the foul line. Nembhard goes and bumps him off his spot. You like that? Boy, Nembhard is a dog. He is becoming one of my favorite guys. But this SGA moment where he shoves him, that's the opposite of what happened in the Minnesota series. Remember Jaden McDaniels was so pissed? He just shoved SGA, and then his comment afterward was like, oh, yeah, you can't really foul him. I wanted to see if you could really allowed to shove him or whatever it was. And I don't want to crush SGA. They may come back and win the series. Thunder may win the next 4. But I was talking with Shady McCoy, show before us. I said, I might take Haliburton over SGA if I'm starting a team. Haliburton makes everyone better. And he's like, I don't think I could talk to you anymore, J-Mac. And we're friends. But I'm being honest here. Tyrese Haliburton, there's something about this guy. And I don't know if SGA, I don't want to say has that clutch gene, but people love to say, like, what is the guy's defining moment? Oh, Michael Jordan with the shot against the Utah Jazz. Magic Johnson, the hook shot against the Celtics. A lot of guys have defining shots. I mean, Tyrese Haliburton has an entire postseason of them right now, okay? Has SGA had his moment? Maybe it's coming in the series. It's possible. But just watching last night, he got a little frustrated. He missed a potential shot to put him up 3 with 11 seconds left. And all Tyrese Haliburton does is deliver. So I have some real questions about OKC. I did pick Indiana in 6. And just watching Tyrese operate when it mattered most versus watching SGA. Like, SGA is great in that Mike Tyson role. Hey, we're going to knock you the bleep out. We're going to put you down 20. It's game over. It's laughing on the sidelines. If they don't get to that, they have had problems in close games. SGA, might be time to step up in game 2, buddy.